Hello and welcome, beautiful soul. Thank you for clicking. My name is Dene, and I am a channel medium. I have been guided to come on here today and to bring you a message. I was told a while ago that there was nothing that I needed to do to change, that trying to change was basically putting me on a hamster wheel of indecision and resistance. And when I think about it, this is very, very true. The more that we try to do things, the more that we loop de loop within the decision process and the choices that we're making. You know, how can I change? How can I be this? How can I be that? Why do you want to be anything but who you are? You know, I have people tell me, well, just be normal. What's normal? What is normal? Normal is different for each and every person, is what I am told. Every one of us is normal. So if we begin to consider that we are normal and that there is no need for us to be anything different than what we already are, we allow ourselves to accept ourselves in all aspects, that this is normal for me. Have you ever had someone say to you, oh, well, that's pretty normal, or oh, that's not normal? What's normal? Who decides what's normal? Who decides that? Who has sat in a position that says, okay, this is normal and this is abnormal? Even within our physical bodies, they say there's certain levels. There's levels of blood that is normal. There's level of different hormones that is normal and average, right? But what if you're not average? What if you're not average? Just think about that. You have been lectured throughout your life to change, that is not the right way to be. But yet within all of your behaviors, it's not right, it's not normal, it's not natural. But yet, if we go into the doctor, we are all gauged by the same chart. Okay? This is your natural or normal blood count. This is your normal hormone count. Okay? This is your normal weight, right? Or this is the average weight. What if your weight isn't the average weight to the normal person? Immediately, when you are put on a chart that says this is what you're supposed to be, this is the norm, you become resistant to everything that is natural within you. Because no more are you allowed to just be a natural you. You have to be what is the average or what is the norm. You didn't come here to be normal or average, right? We all came here to experience something different. And from the moment we arrive, we are told that we have to fall into a very specific category of what is normal or natural. For example, let's just use something simple. And this is changing, but let's just use something simple. Little girls are given dolls to play with, right? A little boy that plays with a doll or cuddles a teddy bear is like, sissy, right? We are given all of those opinions about what is normal and what is not, and what kind of a category you're put into when you don't match that criteria, right? Or label. of what you are? Why does everything have to be labeled? Why can't we just be who we are? We're already labeled when we come in. We're given a name. That's our first label. I encourage you to look up your name and see what it means. What's the meaning of your name? Chances are it will probably meet your personality pretty close, or to what you have developed into. And when you are given that name, that is a it's subliminal suggestion about who you are. And we will note, even when people go through an awakening process, which we're going to talk about what the awakening process is as well for a minute here. Those people will change their name because they feel like that their name doesn't have a bearing on them, or that their name puts a certain vibration towards them or a frequency towards them. Now, for example, my name, my full name is not Dene. I go by Dene, and I have gone by Dene for most of my life. And my full name is much longer, and it actually means ruler with a spear. And I really don't want to be thought of as a ruler with a spear. You know, I mean, it could be considered a warrior, but still, who wants that in there? You know, I'm a ruler with a spear. So we are given all of these labels that we feel that we have to meet or match of what is considered normal or average. Now, when we talk about IQ, that's a little bit different, right? That's different. Your IQ can be above average, right? That's a little bit different. But again, that speaks of logic. There's so many different things that we could talk about when we talk about what it is that we are labeled to be, what we are expected to be, what is the normal of what we are told is okay, and that we should not excel to be more than that normal, right? As a woman, for years we were told, you know, you stay at home, you have children, you have a little picket fence house, you know, you get your husband's slippers when he walks in, and you're under complete control like a little puppeteer, and you're supposed to be happy doing that. But as we evolve and as we change, and this is a natural process for us to do this, it's been happening for thousands of years. Start to look at when we look at the caveman days when we were breaking rocks open. I mean, we're still breaking rocks open because we like the sparkliness of them. Don't get me wrong. But gone are those days, you know, when women just basically stay at home and look after the family. But those days of control are far from gone. And it has, that's interesting. I didn't think this was coming forward, but what I'm being told is that control, the ability to control, has evolved as well. It's adapted, is what I'm being told. It has adapted. We're all controlled to a certain degree because, of course, we have to eat, right? So we need money. So that can control us to a certain degree too. But we do not have to excel, for example, to be a millionaire, to be in that rat race, to be happy, to say, okay, this is what we should all be reaching for, right? Or telling someone else that they're not able to do that because, you know, they aren't smart enough, or they aren't attractive enough, or anything like that. Even with fitness experts, We see things as a norm, like, a little size 2 woman, doing yoga. It's coming more into practice now that you see people that we would consider to be overweight that are doing yoga. And it doesn't have anything to do with the size of you. It has everything to do with the health of your body, the flow of the energy through your body. Everything is energy. It doesn't matter what you talk about, whether you talk about food, you talk about money, anything. It's energy. Everything vibrates at a certain frequency, whatever that is. It doesn't matter. And I almost feel like I'm going off topic here, that they asked me to come on and talk about change and how there is no need for us to change. We are here to have an experience of the self, an individual experience. And the more that we try to be like everyone else, the more our experience is dampened. And we are unable to allow those energies to flow through our body because we are told how we should feel about things, right? How we should react to certain situations. We are given all of those things that are acceptable to be, right? It's unacceptable to get angry, right? It's unacceptable to voice yourself. It's unacceptable to say, no, I don't have time. There is so many things that we don as unacceptable in our society that are keeping us trapped in the average, normal experience. And we're not here for an average, normal experience. We are here to experience something new. That is why we continue to return. We don't return so we can live the same shit. Come on, who wants to do that over and over again? We've been there, done that, no fun. And yet we get back here, and what do? Something happens to us, and we relive it and relive it. We keep wondering, why is this happening to me? And all of these questions that we ask continue to bring that experience back to us over and over again, because we feel that we deserve it, and we feel that we're trapped in it. But we're not trapped in it. We believe we're trapped in it. So that's the experience that we get. But when we begin to believe that we are here to simply experience things in a different way through our human body, because as a soul, we already know everything. We've done it. So when we come back here, when we choose to come back here, we choose a different body. We choose a different body, because then we can have a different experience, right? If we continue to choose the same thing, the same body, the same life, the same blah, blah, what is it? It's a constant repeat of everything that we've already went through, and we already know that story. So we come here to live a new story, to live something new. And when we look back, and you can look back at ancestral patterns, we can look back at our DNA, we see that history repeats itself, and it definitely repeats itself within family dynamics. The same things happen. For example, if we have a family where, for example, there's abuse in a family, right? It has a tendency to continue, right? We come back here to change that, so that we can experience something new as a soul. And it's hard for us to understand, especially abuse in children. And everyone has had some form of trauma in there. You don't get through this life without it. I mean, it's just the way it is. That's how we learn. And what Spirit is saying, people say, why do we experience trauma? Why are we in pain? Because it's the only thing you understand. You listen when there's pain, when there's suffering. You remember that. You remember everything you've suffered with in your life. When you think back, it's very easy to remember the pain and the suffering. You can have lists of them. But let me say to you, list all the wonderful things that have happened to you in your life. Most people will not be able to have a long list of those things because they don't consider getting up and seeing a beautiful sunset as a good thing. A beautiful sunrise, a beautiful sunset, a day on the beach, having clean water. Those are all things that we have evolved to within the survival, that we have had to spend less time on physical survival here so that we can adapt more to the understanding of the experience. We don't have to, hide away from the lion or the tiger here from getting eaten. But most people will not be able to easily list all the wonderful things that have happened to them in their life. And I've witnessed this in many sessions, the wonderful blessings they don't remember, but they remember the negative things that happened. And within every negative event or experience, there's always something that comes out of that, because it has to be a balance of the light and the dark. So when you're remembering the pain and suffering that you've had, whatever that is, and I'm not talking about this lightly in any means. This is not being foolhardy in any way towards the pain and suffering, because there is pain and suffering. There really is. Start asking for the divine to show you the beauty in that situation. And when you begin to look at it differently, your life will begin to change in really magnificent ways.